business, we gon' do something to blind her. John Slide, we gon' leave it where they mom rent. Because I came from the project. I really came from the project, yeah. Hope I would end up in the projects. And that's explaining where my mind at. I been grinding, I get do no 9 to 5, yeah. I get do no 9 to 5, yeah. Cause I came from the projects, yeah. That's where my main homie died at, yeah. I got the pain, you can't stop that, yeah. Murder on my mind in the project, yeah. I lose to this hit, homies wondering where his mind went. And they tryna slide, we gon' leave them where they mind rent. Ain't premeditated, we just put up perfect timing. Ain't premeditated, we just put up perfect timing. He said he a witness, we gon' do something to blind him. That little boy ain't sleeping, we just made him watch his eyelids. Ain't premeditated, we just put up perfect timing. Ain't premeditated, we just put up perfect timing. Yeah, I gotta get this money, I can't settle being broke. So where all these niggas that be trying to run my coat? Try to jump me in this water, it's too bad I'ma float. Two bad bitches and they wanna drive the boat. Lot of bro niggas hang cause they wanna be me. Don't give hands out cause these niggas getting greedy. Losing niggas left and right is never gonna be easy. This footy got an appetite for all the eyes believe. I'll end up in the projects. And that's explaining where my mind at. Shit to the top, so you better rising, waking up, feeling great, feeling love. Woke up like this, green smoothie in my cup. Got my 3 kings beside me, know exactly what it's up. Spaceship to the top, so you better buckle up. Rising, waking up, feeling great, feeling love. Woke up like this, green smoothie in my cup. Got my 3 kings beside me, know exactly what it's up. Spaceship to the top, so you better buckle up. Flying to the top, so you better buckle up. Flying to the top, so you better buckle up. And flying to the top, so you better buckle up. Buckle up, if you better buckle up.
Sun shining, wrist shining. I'm flying, I'm up there, so exciting. Woke up feeling great, cheese, eggs, watch is great. Mike Prokestein or Axel on a date. We can hit the beach up or maybe roller skate. Amuser at the park while we escape. We flying, we gliding, we flying.
Rising, waking up, feeling great, feeling love. Woke up like this, green smoothie in my cup. Got my 3 kings beside me, know exactly what it's up. Spaceship to the top, so you better buckle up. Rising, waking up, feeling great, feeling love. Woke up like this, green smoothie in my cup. Got my 3 kings beside me, know exactly what it's up. Spaceship to the top, so you better buckle up. Flying to the top, so you better buckle up. Flying to the top, so you better buckle up. Flying to the top, so you better buckle up. Buckle up, if you better buckle up. Flying to the top, buckle up, flying to the top, buckle up. Flying to the top, buckle up. Flying to the top, buckle up. Rising, waking up, feeling great, feeling love. Woke up like this, green smoothie in my cup. Got my 3 kings beside me, know exactly what it's up. Spaceship to the top, so you better buckle up. Rising, waking up, feeling
Yeah, man.
love. Woke up like
I'm
this,
feeling great.
Feeling great.
Feeling loved. Green smoothie in my cup. You know, it's your girl StarChougie back like I never left with my favoriteest co-host in the world, man.
Yeah, friend Daddy SP,
In the
aka
building.
Skinny Big Papa.
Skinny Big Papa in the building. What you been doing all week, man?
Acting crazy, but being very intelligent at the same time. Making a lot of business moves, you know, getting enlightened.
Okay.
And we're going to work.
Okay.
You know, work is always interesting. I'm dealing with people in the spectrum because you see what's regular or what's normal. And
Was
then,
it was considered to be regular anyway?
yeah, then you can see how people's senses heighten. Like it's somebody that can't talk or communicate, but it can do math like this,
Yeah.
nonstop. So that's certain things like that is amazing. Like once one sense block off, it
Well,
like over
when
heightens another
when
sense.
common sense is not what you're focusing on all day, you the part that adds and subtracts and everything like that is more space for it to work properly.
No, that make more sense when you're not stressing, thinking about like those worldly
What
things. You're
people
not
feel about
responding.
you, yeah.
Yeah, you don't. Your body don't even respond in that. So all you see is colors, numbers, and shapes.
Absolutely. I had a great week myself, man. Well, so far so good. It's hump day, so we still got a couple more days left before I could give you with the full weeks. But I expect to have a great week in totality.
Projected in your forecast, sister.
Absolutely.
You are the goddess,
Manifestation.
and you can manifest those things.
My guy is here.
What's up, the guy Blanche? What up with the guy?
We can't hear him. We can't hear you.
Where you at? No, we can't hear you.
Wait a minute.
But I am a ventriloquist. I can read lips.
I'm
I don't
so
know if
happy.
everybody else can.
I'm so happy he here, man. Listen, I go on Blanche page and look at a video, and I'm literally commenting. Wait, let me see if I can hear you first. Wait a minute.
Hold on.
It might be on our end. We checking it out now.
Yeah, Blanche been
checking
on
the
fire.
audio. Man, Blanche just
He just dropping on her.
He's a force to be reckoned with. EA calls him Marcus Garvey.
He don't got no fix. Yeah.
All right, let's see. Can we hear you now, good brother? No, still nothing.
Is the audio on?
I see something on the screen speaker.
Audio on.
We are working out the technicalities.
Yeah.
So let me just tell y'all my story about Blanche while we waiting for the technical situation to get resolved. So I go on Blanche videos, and all right, let me see. How about now?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
There you go. Hey,
there
brother
you go.
Blanche. There you go.
All right, so I'm about to explain to you why it's always so many comments from me on one video. So I go on the video, and instead of waiting until the end, I'm like commenting all the way through because it was funny as hell. Like, I'm like, that's right. I was just thinking it. Like, instead of just commenting at the end, So I'm hyping shit through the whole video because this man literally digs in my thoughts and say exactly what the fuck I was thinking. And what we're about to talk about today is I wasn't even going to give this topic none of my energy because that's what this is, the whole purpose of it.
Oh, man.
But everybody's talking about this nut ass slap. So we're going to go ahead and let Blanche break down what the technicalities behind the slap, what the whole purpose of this, slap between the two stars was all about.
Actors.
But when he posted his video the other day, I'm thinking in my mind, like, I'm starting to think that this goddamn alopecia is staged because I've been doing hair since I was 14 years old, and I've seen alopecia of all kinds. And if somebody just had a little, it looked like somebody literally took the clippers and just said, it just looked like a fumble at the ball with the clippers.
No, you gotta understand. They been there. They been said that. I got in one little fight, and my mom got scared.
She said, "You're moving." With
She
your
said,
auntie
"No." You said she can't get in fights, slap people up because your wife got no hair.
Okay, yeah, we gonna let Blanche go ahead because see. My co-host ain't take his medicine. Welcome.
What's up, y'all?
Hey.
Basically, the whole thing with the slap is it's hard not to give it attention because everybody's like following it. Like everybody's like really into it and they believe in it.
They believe it.
And I said, first of all we gotta do is follow the money.
Period.
All we gotta do is just follow the money. And at the end of the day, all three big pharma companies that are sponsoring the Oscars all have an alopecia drug coming out at the same time. I mean, like, we can't say that's coincidence. And then, even with Jada, I think that scar in her head, honestly, maybe from some type of surgery. Like with the little facelift where they cut there.
Yeah, she got a new face. They pulled her back.
Yeah, they pulled her skin back.
Like RoboCop Murphy.
That makes so much
like
fucking
RoboCop.
sense.
They gave her Murphy.
Officer Murphy.
like that can't be covered though. You know what I'm saying? That one little is the size of a track. Even if she grew her hair out and didn't wear it bald, nobody would never see the size of this little piece of missing hair. Nobody would even notice. Go ahead, I'm here.
And it's crazy because when after the slap happened, I went to look up like all the alopecia stuff, and then I talked to folks that even had alopecia, knew folks that had alopecia, and nobody said they ever saw alopecia where it was just a line across somebody's head with no patches missing at all. Nobody said they ever saw it. So, you know, Hollywood does like little rituals, right? So you know, they in order to elevate you, they gotta bring you down.
Humiliation.
They gotta, but that's all about occultic knowledge and science. So what they do is, for you to go to another level, they gotta basically break you down and then bring you back up to the next level. So, like, you know, like Chris Rock, and I told people, Chris Rock and Will Smith, nobody's talking about them for their craft. Nobody's talking about Chris Rock because he's a comedian. And nobody's talking about Will Smith because he's an actor. They're talking about them now because of this slap incident. And if you think about it, even look how Jada and Will were positioned. You had Jada about 5 feet away and Will over here, but that's all for the camera angles. Right. So when you get these solo shots, you can see, okay, we got this zoom in of Jada, this zoom in of Will, but we need Will by himself because he has to walk up.
Right.
So you need so all this stuff, and if folks are in production, they know what I'm talking about. Anytime you're doing a show and there's a producer, if somebody's going off script, the producer's going to be in the room going crazy. Yeah. He's going to be like, what are they doing? And then when he walks, they're going to be like, cut the, I'm telling you, you would have never saw it.
You would have never saw it. They'd have went to commercial. They'd have did some shit. It was live, but that don't mean nothing.
You would have never saw it. You never saw that.
We talk about Hollywood.
Actors.
And at the end of the day, anytime we've even seen stuff remotely happen, you notice we never actually really get to see it. We hear about what happened on the set in Hollywood and all that stuff. We never really get to see it though. Just like when Alec Baldwin was on set and he shot them people, right?
Because listen, my cousin's your fan on the low. Right? Listen, he's a big guy in Philly.
What's up, Marcus?
You know what I'm saying? He's a big.
Hey, brother, how you feel? What's his name again?
What's up?
Blanche. What's up, Blanche? How you feel? No, but listen, you be because you cover a lot of topics with validity, but this one I can't agree with y'all.
Oh shit.
Just respectfully, because if not once have I heard Marcus Garvey, just for a reference, because Marcus Garvey was a hell of a guy mentally.
Yeah.
So I respect your mind, brother, on every level. But you didn't give me any scientific fact. We're referencing what somebody said.
No, biotech has a new drug coming out. No, biotech and
We're
Pfizer.
not talking about biotech. We're
and
talking about
Pfizer too.
We're going back to the Queen. We're not talking about Will Smith with the slap or Chris Rock. He thorough because he didn't press charges.
He can't press charges because they was acting. They was playing house.
Now you and I, now hold on. Now we all know.
Well, you saying that it's not real? That wasn't real?
Saying that was a scripted act.
Let's be honest. If I go and slap somebody, right, and everybody gets it on camera, and it goes viral, he don't have to press charges.
That's real shit.
If they
The
see
state
me
will pick
doing
it up.
If they see me doing it,
no, because it's a misdemeanor. No, because somebody will have to press charges because it's a misdemeanor. Now, if the person, I'm gonna be honest, I only like Steve Harvey on Family Feud, but this morning, no, honestly, I like his character on Family Feud.
Right.
But Steve Harvey is an intelligent brother, man. And
is it?
To my opinion. My opinion, because I watched Steve Harvey. So this day when he gave his opinion, he said Will Smith knew what he was doing. That's why he had the hand all the way open. It's a difference. If I ball my fists up and punch you, if I hit you the same way that Chris Rock got hit with a fist, is a total different aggregate on a criminal level. On a level where as though I can now revoke your. See, I gotta watch what I say with y'all. You know, the smart people.
All right, how about this?
You know what I'm trying to say, Fran. I gotta
question.
take your whatever, your citizenship, your rights, whatever, you know, and detain you and lock you up.
All right, how about this?
Go ahead.
What do you think about the Oscars saying that they couldn't get him to leave, but yet they still gave him an Oscar?
I want my Oscar too. Give me my accolades.
No.
Wait a minute. No. I believe that they can do whatever they want. It's their building. It's their production. It's the StarChougie show. It's a StarChougie show. Whatever StarChougie say go, I don't care who you are.
Well, they made a statement saying that they asked him to leave several times and he wouldn't leave.
Now I watched the producer, whoever he was the producer, the black guy, that had his conversation, and he gave his perspective of saying, yes, the cops came directly to me and asked me, we can lock him up right now for battery. That's the exact words he said, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, battery. All right, which it only carries 24 hours in jail. You're going to get bail. The bail bill is going to be as little as, like, I can get a bail for battery.
Right.
It's not even a simple assault. You know what I'm saying? No, honestly, it's not even disorderly conduct.
Did you see
am I right, brother? I mean, you know, if I'm saying something,
but the issue is this. So being somebody that's been in television and film, that's not how it works. You gotta understand something. Nothing you see on TV is off script. There's nothing on TV that you and I see that's just happened and let it happen. I'm sorry. Even I'm telling you know it's fake. Even when
that's
kill,
not true.
Even when
anything can go wrong, just like what's my favorite guy that hated 45 that had the accident on set with the live ammo and killed the film producer.
Alec Baldwin?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me ask you a
that's
question.
not true.
Did you see it?
That's a perfect example.
Right, that could have been more acting.
Did you see it?
No.
Real shit, cause I'm fucking serious.
Did you see it?
That could be more
Brother,
live.
all right.
Damn.
Did you see it?
Yes, I've seen
What
glimpses
they
of
wanted
it.
you to see.
Yes, I've
You
seen
would
what
never-
they wanted me to see.
Right.
Yes.
See what I mean?
Philly uncut,
So-
uncensored, uncut.
So what I'm telling
Show what you want, right?
If you think about it, once Will Smith hit him, listen, there's all kind of security there. There's EMT staff there. There's all kind of folks there. Nobody asked Chris Rock, was he okay? No, nobody rushed. Like, think about it. Even when Will sat down, Jada Pinkett didn't even look at it.
She laughed at
Like,
Chris. Did you see her laughing? She laughed.
Think
at
Should have
the-
laughed.
She
She
laughed.
laughing.
She laughed
Cousin.
at the joke.
Cousin, when
And
I
Chris
seen
Rock.
your movie, cousin, I wanted to go up and slap somebody like that.
But I'm just
No
saying.
man. Humiliation, degrading me and on national TV. I don't care what her smile looked like. I don't care what camera view they showed. I don't care staging. I'm going on empirical knowledge, experience. Since we referencing experience, I see the young guys today, April, right now, 2022, using a gun, not a fist, for humiliation, for not having, trying to play me, disrespecting me. So a slap is going that far where we gotta have all this dialogue of.
Yes, because they
You know what I'm
wanted it
just saying?
to.
Not real.
Okay, so what's wrong with that?
Because
Because it's
they
not
doing
real.
it for a purpose. That's what
Okay,
I'm saying.
That's the first.
But everything has a cause to effect. I get that. But things can happen on a live production show and a production audience. It can, man. Look at
You know what I'm
Ukraine.
saying?
Look at you think them tanks, you think them
You
Let me ask
won't
you a
see
question.
it.
Do you think those tanks, when they show the live bang and the journalist is in the field getting live
Yeah.
action,
Don't
would
even
you
get
say
me
that's
started.
not real?
Yeah, some
Yeah,
of it
most
is
of the-
fake.
yeah, most of that.
So
most of
that's
fake.
production.
Yeah.
So most of that's
Yeah.
fake.
Real
Oh,
shit.
God.
Real
It's
shit.
fake.
Real
It's fake.
shit. Yo,
That's
It's
crazy.
fake.
the media is fraudulent.
It's
So
Deontay.
the guy that was on Dancing with the Stars that lives from Ukraine,
He gonna try to
he
find.
was fake. No, because
No, it's real people that really.
I've been doing film. I've been doing film as long as probably I don't know your age, your tenureship. I've been doing film for 24 years straight, no breaks. Film production. I understand production. I understand if we live on set like ABC News or NBC or CBS, the largest corporations in the world. Bloopers can happen. Just like if they actually doing a weather report and it don't work and they got to say, well, excuse me, it's not working, but now I can read this and I can do it. So you can't say that.
Go ahead, what's your question?
But we get out of context though. Listen, a technical malfunction is separate from somebody walking on stage intentionally and slapping somebody. Those two different things. So what I'm telling you is the reaction to what happened lets you know because they're all bad actors. And what I'm telling you is that in Hollywood, what they do is it's called a ritual where they bring you down and then they pull you back up. So what they do to Chris Rock is they make you a victim or they make you a villain. Either way,
they did it to Meek.
You end up being a hero. So if you notice,
they did it to Meek Mills. They talking about some Meek pulled up in Atlanta and wouldn't give these kids money. He only gave the kids $20. They was on the side of the road selling water. Then he said, he had them disrespect. Then they had saying he disrespected Carmel. Who was it? I forget. Basketball player, wife or so. Who passed away? Kobe's wife or something. He did something. And so they was tearing Meek. They was tearing Meek down. And then, but that's right when he got signed. I mean, he started being up under Jay so much. If you peep, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, they do. They tear him down and build him back up.
Even before that,
I don't know. I never had the privilege. Let me just be respectful to y'all mindset. I never had the privilege to join them. You know that?
The people.
Yeah, because bring me up and bring me down. I was born up. I was born down.
No, cousin, they can't have you.
Okay,
they can't have my cousin.
No, I'm joining.
I'll give you an
no,
example.
Fucking
right?
not. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I'll give you an example, right? I'll give you an example. Let's say you go into the Marines, right?
Yes.
And you go into basic training. In basic training, they're going to break you down and then build you up, and now you're a Marine, right?
Right.
If you want to go above a Marine level, like special ops, some type of Green Beret special, guess what they're going to do? You're going to go through a more intense boot camp where they're going to tear you back down and then bring you back up for the next level. So what I'm telling you is, we see this all the time.
No, I get that. That's a good analogy. I like the way you referenced it. But that has nothing to do with that. I mean, we can do worst case. We could do references all day, brother. Your mind is one of the smartest minds. That's what made me want to come in the room just to say hi and all that. But we are entitled to one thing. And what is that?
Believing what the fuck we want to believe.
What would you call it?
Your own
opinion?
Your own opinion.
Perspective? Yeah. Smart man. Opinion or perspective?
Yeah. But even Meek Mill, you can go to YouTube. Meek Mill is hopping around like a bunny rabbit.
Right.
What I'm telling you is that all this, I got.
So let me ask you a question. Friend Daddy SP was just hopping around like a bunny rabbit on our show.
I was hopping around like Michael Jackson.
And last night. So
Michael Jackson.
What we doing? Where's the money at? We need all that.
Here go the difference. Didn't nobody make Friend Daddy jump. He hopped on his own.
There you go.
That's the difference.
That's where I don't believe. I have my. I understand that.
To your own opinion.
I understand that you can make your rules. And you can make things like if you come in my house, take off your shoes. I get it. I don't eat red meat. I get it. You don't eat no kind of meat. I get it. You all herbs. I get it. I take no medicine. I get it.
It depends on what kind of meat.
I get it. At the end of the day, not on duty. At the end of the day, it's just a person's because we wasn't. One thing y'all got me with, you wasn't there. You wasn't there. Y'all could give an opinion about anything. Yeah. All you know is how right there, what's in the back of your backdrop, your household, and your life and your family and your children. That's what you know to be a fact.
And we know that Pfizer dropped
and I
a
know
new...
Friend Daddy was just in here jumping around like...
Yeah, by rabbit, but guess
and
what?
it wasn't that he did it on his own. One of the young ladies that was
Oh,
up
well,
there.
he did it for the scratch. But what we saying is we do... a fact we do have is that Pfizer and Biotech was the sponsors of the Grammys, and that they dropped a new drug for alopecia. That's something you can pull up in your phone right now. No bullshit.
Oh, that was dope then. Salute the Grammys for pulling off the biggest.
Okay, so
wait a minute.
So
Marketing
Go
promotions is
ahead,
everything.
Go ahead,
Okay.
Blaine.
Go ahead, Blaine.
Okay, so now, so let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Do you think that Jada Pink is going to be bald headed for the rest of her life?
Fuck no. What?
Well,
They
let me
got the
say
best
this.
wigs in Hollywood.
Let me say this. What we talk about natural hair, Star.
But Jada
Natural growth. Natural
Okay,
growth.
okay.
Natural.
It's possible. I'm not a scientist. Now,
What do you
wait a
think,
minute. Let me give you an opinion. Now, I used to be married to a hairdresser for 20-something years. I understand that world. It would have to be a scientist and 3 top hairstylists in the world, Craig, that give me an opinion before I can answer that.
But no,
And give you 100%. Because I would trust their knowledge of self.
Well, I've been doing hair since I was 14, and I tell you right now, she could have slapped a track on that little scratch. Because that's all
But
it is.
she ain't want to. Because you hating on her marketing promotion.
I'm exactly.
There we go.
No, because she about to get that alopecia contract.
whatever.
It's all going down.
If you can show me where the alopecia is a fact, then I'll be like,
show you right now.
She about
Watch.
to get the alopecia contract, and she gonna be the spokesperson
crazy.
for the
And it's
medicines.
gonna grow in.
Because she's a superstar, and they gonna be like, oh, if all the
There we go.
alopecia people that really got it gonna get that bullshit, and they still gonna have alopecia while her shit growing like a baby girl.
So Chris Rock stimulated his. Let's get off my man Will.
Chris
All right,
Rock got a
Shout out to Will
comedy show
Smith.
coming out.
Shout out to Will Smith, Jada Pickett,
Shout out to
though.
Philly.
Jada, you bad as Michael Jackson.
Shout out to
Every
Will
Michael
and Jada.
Jackson album ever. Don't you get girl bald headed and all that. And it ain't all about you having your situation with homeboy, whatever his name is.
Oh, now it's a
Listen,
situation.
no, let me just say this. No, entanglement, whatever it was. We can't stand what we do and say. They had sex. We can't do what we can't stand what we do and say. If they made a decision to go in and smash, I agree with that. They made that decision. They ain't doing it on no sneaky tip. They was broke up or whatever the case may be. And y'all girls that's out here talking about all that, y'all out of pocket. Y'all got more bodies than the Philadelphia Phillies got baseball players.
I don't even care about none of that. I don't
So-
care about her sexual innuendo shit. I got my own shit going on. All I'm saying is at the end of the day, they put on a hell of a show, and that was all staged.
This was March 30th, 2022 by Jacob.
Yeah, no, go to
Jacob
Pfizer.
Ross.
Just go to Pfizer's
All right,
website. Just
So
go to
I want
Pfizer.
to see that coming out.
Yeah, go to
before-
Pfizer's website.
Oh, and it was on there?
Yeah, go to. They got it. You can just Google.
All right, well, listen. Salute
But hold
y'all.
on.
Y'all pulled it off. Listen, we see these rappers do it all day long. We see
Yep.
these girls going to get their butts done.
Exactly.
They getting
Yep.
everything done, faking it till they make it.
Facts.
It's just another part of a whole nother level of having a budget versus what you have. So what we need to do is come up with a good plan. Like, Star, you about to buy a farm.
You want to
Now.
talk about my farm on the south?
No. Now, what you do is I eat the potatoes and the onions. We can sell them. I'm not eating none of that other stuff.
You're not
It
going
got-
to celery.
it got- no, I'm now, good brother Blanche. Let me ask you a
Yeah.
question. This is something I always wanted to ask. Somebody that understand studies. I say that in a respectful way. Humiliation. I just thought that my whole outlook on it, right, wrong, and indifferent, if it was wrong or if it was right. Chris Rock's 2016, whatever that year was when he said all that, he really embarrassed him. And I'm only using that, bringing that back up, just to narrate a story of anger and lashing out. Some categorize this as having like Stockholm Syndrome. I was reading this book called Whole Brain Theory, which was when I was studying the brain when I was locked up. I did 5 years in jail. No TV, no radio. That's all I did was read. I read encyclopedias. I read everything that they said a story was written by a person. You get me? I read a devil Bible. You get me? That's what a Aryan Nation guy called it. That's what he said it was, a devil Bible. It didn't have no rituals in it to speed up the story. So I just think that devilish trait, that negative chakra of that can stop gun violence. I believe that whatever we need to do to stop that, and we can use the reverse of that poke or that slap and your own, what do you think that can be the cure to that? What do you think that we can go to the city of Philadelphia, Fran Daddy SP, Chougie, take this proposal and say, this is what we can do? Because we watched it, and we watched.
So you asking how we can use the same type of tactics that they used to get that Pfizer drug out and getting the people put the guns down?
Reversing guns violence. Now, wait a minute, because gun violence is, take that out to play, but leave it into play. Domestic violence or more conscious awareness of ourselves.
Right. How do we?
But the reason why I say that is because just like we're able to read that, why can't we read something that can benefit the economical structure, the educational
structure? Oh, that's what we're gonna get to in a minute.
No, I'm not saying on a religious phraseology, on a religious topic. No, something for knowledge of self, because that's what's needed. And we can find, because y'all good with picking all the stuff apart, and I get that. But I believe that people like Brother Branch, that really got knowledge of self, y'all too. And we come up with a good proposal, because we watching all these LLCs and all these corporations get all this money to say that they stopping nonviolence. Or strengthening education. Like, I don't want to get on the topic of this because I'm running from y'all. I know y'all. I'm scared of y'all. I just like to watch y'all in the back. Honesty. Education. We got all this money for war. So you want to know how we can... I understand the benefits of it. We got all this money for war, but we couldn't even put $50 million in a whole Philadelphia school district would have solved every problem. $100 million.
Period. That's how it goes.
I want to hear your perspective. I'm listening, bro. And I just think, or... even if you don't elaborate on it on this particular show, that's something that I think that we should all be concentrating on. Cause you know what I'm saying? Because people are smart. You might could pick, like just how y'all broke that down. I'm gonna be all the way honest. I'm impressed. No matter where you got your information from, somebody put it out there to be saw. You know what I'm saying? And that right there is just a coincidence.
Just go to the Pfizer website. That's what I tell people. Don't take my word for it.
Don't listen.
Check it out.
Research.
Check it out for yourself. Because that's what I did.
And it's not just Pfizer. It's 3 big pharma companies that are all doing alopecia medicine, and they all sponsor the Oscars. All 3 of them have a medicine coming out for alopecia. So one might be coincidence, but not 3.
Yeah.
So to me, the solutions can't really be based on, because the problem is, you mentioned it, you said knowledge of self. So the problem is, what we are teaching people is how to navigate around the problems. The problem with that is, you're not getting to the root. And the root of the issue and the problem is, first of all, let's say with gun violence in our community, because it's not just Philly, it's nationwide, and it's on the rise. The problem is, these children do not know who they are. So I got my 4 pillars that really plague our community. First, for our people as a whole are emotionally immature. Second, the men suffer from arrested development. Third, the women suffer from a lack of humility. And fourth, the children lack identity. To me, those are the 4 pillars that plague our community. Now, those things can be solved, but it will first have to get solved with the first thing, which is the men. So we have to start developing these boys into men. Back in the day, manhood, from boyhood to manhood, was an easier transition because most of the men around these young boys were actually men. Now you got a mixture. You got a lot of men raised in single parent households. You got a lot of men with feminine traits. You got a lot of men with anger issues. A lot of men with it's all
Real
this
shit.
stuff going. It's all this stuff going on. So the problem is, even with the gangs now, the gangs are suffering more now because there's no OGs in the gangs. They're all locked up or dead. So it's a bunch of young kids out there just shooting the block up. So what we got to do is try to get a program where we can get these boys, young men, into manhood. But the problem is, who's going to do it? Who's going to deal with these young boys? They don't want to listen.
What's manhood? Give me a brief synopsis of manhood.
So I believe the role of a man is supposed to guide, provide, and assume all responsibility. Meaning that if there's a problem that's around a man, he seeks to solve the problem. The man's going to seek to guide and he's going to provide, meaning that the man's not going to have any lack around him. So you look at a man on earth like you would look at God. You would say that God is somebody that wouldn't allow me to be in lack. God wouldn't, misguide me. And then God would, eventually or ultimately, God would assume all the responsibility because God created everything. So God would have to put some things in place to make sure that we're successful. So we talk about manhood. The first thing a man has to be is unselfish, because a man has to look at his environment and say, how can I improve this environment around me? So to me, that's what we have to start with the men, because that's the leadership. Now, once the men are able to get these young boys to become men, then next we go to the women. Now, to me, a big, huge problem in our community is, another thing is, from the late 1800s to about 1965, we got married more than any other race in this country. You know that during slavery, we got married almost 100%. When it was illegal to get married, we got married. Now you fast forward, the women get married at 27%, the men get married at 30%. But guess what? The marriage gap, the wealth gap is reflected in the marriage gap. The turmoil in our communities everything reflected in the marriage. Why? Because a stable household is the foundation for building a community. So the problem is, again, they got us addressing these problems. We're not getting to the root. So not only do the men have to get it together, but now the women and men got to come together and start creating functioning households. Because all the data says that when a child is in a single parent household, regardless of race, they are more likely to be impoverished, more likely to be uneducated, more likely to be incarcerated, more likely to do violent crimes, more likely to do crimes, period, just from being in a single parent household. So in God's design, it was never designed for a man and woman to be separate. It was never designed for that. Well, it was always designed for man and woman to be together to raise a family. So again, we got the children, we got the men being men, we got the women being, and our women are unique because our women are very educated, very strong, very powerful. They look good, older. They got all the, basically, they walk as superheroes, our women.
Yeah, I know.
But the problem is, they don't have any humility, because they tell you, I'm a queen, I'm black, I'm all these great things. So it's kind of hard to get them to be humble and realize you still need a man, though, because man needs a woman and woman needs a man. So at the end of the day, we get to these children, and these children don't know who they are, because ultimately the parents don't know who they were. So if the children don't know who they are, and the men are immature, and the women are humble, and we all emotionally immature, how can we make it? So if we got a program for these to stop this gun violence, we are going to have have men go in there and step these boys through a process of some type of manhood. Back in the day, you had coaches, you had pastors, you had community center leaders, you had people in the community. Think about it. Think about in 1950, how many positive male role models we had in our community. The person that owned the store that was positive, the person that would run the mechanic shop, and these people own their own businesses too. It wasn't just us walking around scrounging and sprouting. No, people own their own homes, own their own businesses. But guess what? They was all on the same page as far as it was to the youth.
Sherry so what I'm saying, slavery not too long ago.
Huh?
It was just coming out of slavery not that long ago.
But even out of slavery,
the mentality was a little different.
Because we made the most investment.
Now, I do believe a lot of what you said. I concur. But what I do understand, like that word, that phraseology, Stockholm syndrome, you got to do your research. I have many people. Have you ever studied the whole? It's a profile. Stockholm syndrome. It's a syndrome. It's like some people, oh yeah, and they just give me a brief synopsis. It's a challenge for the next show. Look it up and do some research on that. To the ninth, you got to do the whole Stockholm and the syndrome while they put it together, because they have their own classes.
It's like a form of systematic racism.
Well, no, I won't see. That's what. But it's not. It's not though.
They attack this certain.
But all right. Let me just say this.
Like shell shock.
Let me just say this.
From the war.
All right. Let me just say this. All right. It was classified that the reason why a lot of the things that we're going through as a race of people, they classified us as having Stockholm syndrome.
Who?
The people that wrote psychology, that wrote that made that curriculum, that made that whatever you want to call it.
But
people that study people.
Hold on, but think about it though.
Like you and I, we studying each other. We studying more of actions and. But go ahead. I want to cut your thought off.
But I don't buy Stockholm syndrome, because if we look at historical facts, it doesn't support Stockholm syndrome. So for example,
it does. Yes, it does.
Just hear me out. You would think that slavery would have destroyed the black family, but it didn't.
Right, but Stockholm syndrome doesn't mean that it destroyed the black family.
No, I'm not saying.
Let me explain from my perspective what I'm saying.
Let me just pull up the
Stockholm syndrome, in a way, it said like I would say black on black crime is a derivative of Stockholm syndrome. Any group of people that has been held captive without not of their own free will, whatever was done to them in reverse, they're gonna start doing it to themselves. Like with the baby being in the womb of the mother at the time she's being raped and abused and beat and watching hangings.
They say Stockholm syndrome is a condition in which hostages develop a psychological bond with their captors during captivity. So their captors pretty much become their guides. And they
Yes. So I'm glad she read that.
Well, that depends on where that source coming from.
That's from Wikipedia.
See,
let me see.
Webster.
I'm gonna pull out Webster.
I mean, but I respect Wikipedia. The colleges don't, but I understand why, because anybody can go in and register information in the Wikipedia.
All right, what you got
That's the only reason why.
What you say about that?
So what I'm gonna say is, if Stockholm syndrome was an issue with our people, then we wouldn't have had the most advancements at post-slavery. We had more advancements post-slavery than we did now, so it can't be Stockholm syndrome, because that would have meant we would have never had any advancement. We've actually regressed. So what I'm saying is, if we say Stockholm syndrome, if we say it's passed down through the DNA, then we'll never be able to have a solution. We haven't talked about personal accountability. So the problem is, the Stockholm syndrome sounds good when
it's just a diagnosis. That's all.
I know, but I'm saying, but it sounds good when it's a white liberal telling some folks what's really wrong with them, when in actuality,
that is true too.
BS.
And I won't go as far as just saying white liberals.
At the end of the
people that study that, like if I would take myself out the conversation and I was on the other side of the room and I didn't believe in, I gotta reference it just to reference it, conspiracy theories, because that's what they call it. I don't believe in conspiracy theories. Myself personally, I don't. Because I know, all right, what happens if I put this lighter under your hand? It's going to burn. How do you know? Because I'm great burn friend.
Let me tell you something real quick, though. They just said that I posted about Black Lives Matter on their...
Fran ain't got nothing to say. I just wanted to, man.
Getting millions.
I like to talk to my good people. Yeah. I'm just listening to the other side. Salute you, black man. I'm sorry, cousin. Do we call stuff black?
Melanated. I don't know if we call stuff black, but I don't.
Are you black, cousin?
I'm melanated. Black is not a
My cousin
term of endearment.
educated my whole family. Y'all don't understand how we grew up, so it's
Black is not a term of
it.
endearment to me. You know what I mean? But I mean, hey. Yeah, so but yeah, what I was saying was they just was when I posted about Tia Mowry or whatever having these mansions, whatever the case is. I was told that was a conspiracy theory, and then boom, when they put it on media, you know, the what do you call that media? You know, what everybody watches these days.
Social media?
Not social media, but you know, like the news, the 3, 6, and 10s and the shade rooms and things like that. Then people believe it. It's not a conspiracy theory anymore, and it's happening more frequently now than ever. Where half the shit we done said was supposed to be the New World Order was supposed to be a conspiracy theory. Yet Biden just declared it the other day, saying that he wants it to happen right now.
Yep.
So, and this is the shit that's going on while we concerned about a slap.
I feel like, you know, it depends on, you know, where your thought at, because, you know, a theory is a thought, it is an effect. So how you can't compare theories to facts. So just in the sense of that, it's like trickery. You know, I believe conspiracy theory is a divisive word.
Yeah, it was made to throw people off. It was made by the CIA.
Because
it
is.
You
know,
know,
a theory is the sky is blue, but then you can say it's a reflection of the ocean that's making it. You know what I mean? But so it's like you gotta have 1 + 1 is, you know, 2. That's a fact.
Common sense too.
Yeah, you gotta go with facts.
Yeah, you gotta go with your gut in some instances. Yeah, a lot of, you know, some things is black and white, and we could pull up all types of proof all day, but some things is just a gut feeling and your intuition. You know.
I don't believe in theories, but most of the American literature is based upon theoretical stuff. I mean, even E=MC². That's a theory of relativity. That's not a proof.
It is. It is.
And he teaches
so,
you
know, it's funny because you think about the past 2 years, like you said, Star, everything we were saying in the beginning, they later came out and said. So really what you're seeing is, it's not that conspiracy theories are false. It's just that people look for the people in charge to validate them.
Period.
So essentially, it don't matter either way because you still seeking validation from the same people that tricked you in the first place.
And that's Stockholm Syndrome.
Now to me, that's Stockholm Syndrome. What Stockholm Syndrome is, listening to these people tell you all this stuff, and then 2 years later, you still trust them. That is insane to me. That's Stockholm Syndrome to me.
I do believe it's clickbait, where people know people are interested in this conspiracy theory thing, and they make all this stuff up to get 1 million views because it's a popular trending topic. And then they get mixed in with the knowledge, you know what I mean? And people put it all on the same, like, platform in their brain. Because I don't subscribe to even the word theory. I don't even subscribe to that word because I have my own thoughts.
The CIA made that up to throw us off and to make us to pervert legit topics and real shit that was going on. And people bring it to light and they're like, conspiracy theory. Hate that. You know, they made it the devil. They make conspiracy theory and the devil is like one of the same. They just words that they literally give you to know. Don't touch that. Don't believe that. That's hot. Don't, you know, leave it the fuck alone. Don't believe it. You know what I mean? But what do you think, Blanche, is some of the things that they was hiding? You know, a lot of times when they do things like this is because they're hiding real shit that's going on around the world.
Well, I'm gonna say this. I think the main distraction with the slap was the Hunter Biden laptop, and the problem with that is, so the New York Post basically released the article saying that Hunter Biden was basically getting funding from those biolabs in the Ukraine.
Yep.
And
they got tons of them.
They made a statement in there, and they said as we reported before. So the New York Post is separating themselves from the rest of these journalists because they're going to say that, you know what, we weren't the ones misinforming the public. We weren't the ones hiding the truth. And so I tell people all the time, if you see an article, you got to actually go read it.
Right.
I said because the title is just clickbait. Most folks see the title and just run with the title. I say go in there and read it because they'll put the truth in the actual article that they write down. And so, to me, the Hunter Biden laptop was discovered, and it was discovered that the FBI lost the first laptop. They said they can't find it, so they came up missing. But it was confirmed that he was getting funding from Russia, from China, and from the Ukraine. So I keep telling people, this whole fake war between Russia and Ukraine is fake. Biden is in bed with Russia. Biden is in bed with Xi Jinping, Putin in Russia, Xi Jinping, and Vladimir Zelensky with Ukraine.
I feel like Russia owns America on some real shit. Like, I feel like when it's all said and done, they really own this motherfucker. We sitting here watching a bunch of acting in this big stage called the universe or whatever. But there's a lot of acting going the fuck on. But go ahead. I'm sorry, not to cut you off. Because
we're in debt to China. We're in debt to Japan. Yeah. Like, so at the end of the day, I told people Biden was going to sell the country off piece by piece. That's why if you look at what he's doing, that's why he passed the anti-Asian hate bill. Because you know why? It's going to be them Chinese coming over here. So you got to think, when they come over here, they're not going to change how they act. They're going to act the same way they do in China. So they're not going to respect you. They're going to act the same way they act in China, they act over here. So they're going to have to be protected. Right. And so I tell people, all you got to do is follow the money. Look at where Hunter Biden got his money from. He got his money from China. He got his money from Russia. He got his money from Ukraine. So that means his father is working with all three. So that means all this stuff is staged. It ain't even down to the Wuhan lab. The Wuhan lab is even a fake story. You know why? Because think about it. If they release some information and make you believe it was some kind of conspiracy that got revealed, most folks are going to believe it. But what if the conspiracy reveal is even fake? Because what I'm saying is, I'm going to do a video and I'm going to release it, but it's not even a virus.
I feel like it's radiation. I really feel like it's radiation. And people think, they disagree with me all the time, but I feel like when they put them towers up everywhere, people start getting sick. They literally put them up in September of 2019. They started to put them up. In December, they announced that it was here in America. The CVID was here in America. Right? How ironic is that as soon as they put those towers up, people start getting sick. And I felt the difference in my body. I felt sluggish. All those things. I felt like I had like an itch in my throat. I felt the difference. My mindset wasn't even as clear. It felt like I was like in between the two channels when they used to have VHS back in the day. Like in between, when you're not quite on the station. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's why a lot of people are mentally going crazy right now because of these frequencies.
Yeah, I mean, and to me, that's exactly what it is. But how they got people is that with the frequencies, all the frequency has to do is basically oxidize the air. So now it just makes the air poisonous for your body. So your body needs antioxidants, but an oxidant is actually harmful to your body. So what they do is they charge the air, and then when you breathe it in, that's why it affects the respiratory system, because you're breathing this stuff in. That's why you feel it in your throat and it goes down, because you're breathing that stuff in. It's actually an ingenious thing, because what you do is you use radiation in a sense, but you say it's a virus. So now you got folks chasing their tail in a circle, trying to figure out what to do. And the funny thing is, every step they had us take with the CV-19 is the same steps you would take treating somebody that had radiation.
Acute radiation syndrome is the same exact symptoms. Same symptoms.
It's all the same. And so I tell people, all you got to do is, don't take my word for it. All you got to do is look it up, and then give yourself a coincidence meter, meaning that you say, if I reach 10 coincidences, then I'm gonna say this is what it is. Thanks. So because you might get 1, then 2, then 3, but you say to yourself, if I get 10 coincidences, then I'm gonna say this is what it is. So I think most people are afraid to really dig into this because they don't want to not have to trust the government. They don't want, think about it.
They need a master.
They want a master. Man, come on, man. Listen, people talk all that stuff about wanting to be independent and all that. Most people go to bed at night in their mind thinking, that Joe Biden at the end of the day got my best interest at heart. That's what they be going to sleep and listen, and they be resting on that.
I don't know
and how. I be telling.
That's deep, Blanche. Like, that's very deep. But I agree with you 110%. I was screaming from the mountaintops. I felt like the boy that cried wolf. I'm like, listen, soon as they put these towers up, and then what they do after that? Oh, we got these new 5G iPhones, and put them in everybody's home. You know what I'm saying? And everybody like, oh, I want the better internet. I want the better phone. And then they like, oh, shit, I feel sick. You know what I'm saying? And then people who work in hospitals where they were giving out the things for free, all the nursing homes. Did you know all the nursing homes, they was giving, like, most of these nursing homes that 5G inside the nursing homes? And then people was dying, and they like, oh, all these old people just died from CVID. Are y'all sure about that? Because y'all just dropped a new flipping tower near them and just gave that nursing home free 5G. The hospital's free 5G. The schools free 5G. Free. Anytime they start giving out shit for free, I'm red flag. You know?
Red flag. You're supposed to despise the free lunch. So you said you gotta
shout out to everybody on the comments.
Absolutely.
Shout out to JoJo Mac. Shout out to everybody. It's a lot of comments going on.
Oh,
but what
yeah,
you were saying,
dang.
Blanche?
Go ahead,
I was saying you got a farm. You getting a farm?
I am.
That's awesome.
You gonna come out there with me? Listen.
Awesome.
You gotta come out there with me, man. You got wherever I'm riding a bench. I'm riding a fence on Costa Rica or Honduras. I'm not 100% sure. We got so many comments. Jojo Mac, radiation poison has the same symptoms. He said the same thing that we said. Absolutely, brother. So I see that you're on the same page as we are. Dapper fact drug. That's lack of accountability. So we should have been paying attention to this along the way, but we didn't. We dropped the ball a little bit. But we will make sure next show that we
locked into the comments.
Blanche, I hate ending the show with you, man. We got 3 minutes left. Just drop any jewels that you want for these last 3 minutes.
I'm gonna just say this, man. I think now is the time for y'all to just this for everybody. Whatever you want to do in life, do it now, because it seems like the world about to end pretty soon. So you might as well just try to achieve all your wildest dreams and do what you want to do, because what you got to lose?
I feel like, you know what I think, Blanche? I think that the world is going to end as we know it. I feel like the universe is doing a cleanse, and I feel like that everybody won't make it, because I feel like you do have to vibrate in a certain type of frequency in order to be drawn in to that next room, to that next plane. You know, and I feel like a lot of people that carry that heavy heart, got a lot of ill will and intent towards others, definitely won't make the cut. You know,
no.
I do believe that the world is ending as we know it, for sure, but I don't think it's over. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no, it's not over. It's just that, like we've been saying, you got to. They're gonna bring you down to bring you back up.
Period.
So the stuff got to go down for us to rise back up. The only benefit is that we all gonna be better human beings after this.
Yes.
And so at the end of the day, whatever these folks have planned for us, we'll be ready and prepared for it. To me, this is the best time to be alive, because now you know who's who, you know what is what, and now you really can move forward. Because think about it, we all three listening to this doing this podcast right now. We know what's up.
Period.
This is the best time in history where we actually know the truth.
So
think about it. Now we can actually operate and move accordingly now. We know.
There you go. Well, thanks for coming through. We got to have you again, man. And I think I'm going to make it a 2-hour joint next time I bring you on, Blanche. Thank you so much for coming through. We see you next week.
A lot of things we need to get to.
Yeah. All right. We catch you next time. Thank you so much.
All right. Love y'all.
Love you more.
Too, man. Appreciate it, bro.
Paulie and the gang up next.
Glockaway.
Choose. Yeah.
Blake.
Yeah.
Beats.
Yo. I know me, I got you. Nothing before. Gave my heart, gave my soul, but they still want to explore. Ever gave someone your all, and they still want more and more. Yeah. And more and more.